And we are live. All right, amazing. Awesome to see you again. This is like a little bit of an exception. Normally, I get into the room and we just start talking to the people for the first time. In this case, we are doing this, I think, for the fourth time, where we used to have some struggles. We had some struggles with audios, and then we had some struggles with the internet, and then um, so yeah, now we're making finally making it happen for real. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Mark?
Yeah, hi Ondra. How are you doing today? You
All
okay
good.
today?
All good.
Brilliant.
Ready for this conversation.
Okay, I'm Mark. I'm Mark Coope. I'm 63-year-old. I live over in Oldham in England. I've been married to my wife Rachel now for almost 25 years. We have three children and we have three grandkids. I'm I'm an online entrepreneur stroke mentor, and there is a reason why I got into that, which when my story unfolds, which I'm going to go through in a second, you'll understand what my reason is and the logistics of why I'm there. So if I'll let further ado, I'll jump. So as I say, I'm Mark. When I was younger, I played rugby league for a local amateur club over in the Oldham area, and I played that for about 20 years. So it's a tough game, but you get used to it, and it is quite relevant. That when I finished playing rugby, I actually retired when I was 35 because I realised that I knew what I had to do. I just couldn't get there to do it. The old body was telling it, Mark, time to take a back seat, buddy. So I did that, and then I got bored sitting around. So when I was 38, I decided to take up Jiujitsu, which was traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. So I became a member of the World Jiu-Jitsu Federation and joined a local club again and started along the road for that. I actually loved it, and I remember I've done a couple of weeks training, and I decided I was going to do this full time. So I said to the club sensei, "Can I get my gi, your training suit, because I want to do this?" And he said, "Yeah, no problems." I said, "But I don't like the white ones. Can I have a blue one?" Because there were some people had white gis on, and some people had white trousers and blue tops. I said, "I prefer them blue tops." He said, "You can't have one of them because they're for black belts only."
Mm.
And my instant reply was, "Well, I am a black belt. I just haven't done the training yet." Now, that might appear cocky or arrogant, but it was just the way I felt. And I didn't realize at the time that was actually the first step of positive reinforcement. I then started training. And I decided that I wanted to be a black belt in the millennium year. So this was 1998, and I wanted to be a black belt in the millennium year. Now, the World Jiu Jitsu Federation do two black belt gradings a year. They did one in May and one in September. So I set my sights for September 2000. That would have meant I would have got it before I was 40 because I was 40 in 2001. So I said, "Oh, you can't do that because it's a 4 year program. It takes 4 years from starting to black belt." I said, "Yeah, okay, no problem." So then I threw myself into training, really threw myself into training. And in the first 12 months, the following, that was January when I started, the following January, I had 6 Q belts under my belt. No, I should have had only had three maximum, but I had six, I'd passed 6 Q belts. So I planned my goals again for the next year. It meant I had to be brown white belt by November that year, which I did. But I was training 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week. I became, call me a bloody slag or whatever you want. But if my club weren't training, I'd train at somebody else's club. I just trained where I could. So that went on. Um, February 2000, I took my brown belt. So that meant I had, it's normally from brown belt to black belt, it's 12 months. I only had six. Well, I had nine. I had 7 months from January to September.
Mm.
So I threw myself into black belt training, 5, 6 nights a week again, wherever I could. 12 weeks before the black belt, I was doing someone doing a routine throw on me, and I got this immense pain in my leg. I never felt anything like. I almost felt sick. I was almost vomiting. It was that bad. I went to see the physio. This next bit of story happens within 10 days. So I went to see the physio the day after. I could hardly walk. I said, "What's this?" So he checked me out. He said, "Oh, you got what they call a Gilmore's groin. It's where you tear the ligaments off the housing of the pubic bone, off your hip bone. So I've torn the ligaments and I've torn the cartilage that held it in place. No, nothing you can do. It's got to be operated on. Boom! Oh, everything came crashing down. Big, big sort of like depression, quick depression. Phoned up, spoke to a friend of mine, said, I can't do my black belt because of this. This has happened. Um, she said, so you're going to bib about it? Well, bib means cry over it. I don't know if it's the same here. Are you going to cry about it or are you going to sort it out? Not phoned up for sympathy. I phoned up because I wanted to put the proverbial arm around your shoulder and say, it's okay, don't worry. Not give me a load of stick. So anyway, I phoned that was sort of like jolting me back into life. Phoned the physio again. I need to get this done. Where can I go? He gave me instructions. Long and short of it is, 3, 4, 5 days later, I was under the knife having the operation done. Consultant said it'll take 5 or 6 weeks to get 5, 6, 10 weeks to get ready again, to get fit again. I said no, I can't do it in that time. I have to be back training in 10. I have to be back to training in week, 5, 6 weeks maximum. So I did everything I could. I went walking. I did this. I did that. I had physio twice a day. Cost me a fortune. Long and short of it, 10 weeks later, I'm back on the mat training. September came around, which was 12 weeks after I'd done the operation, and I'm at World Jiu-Jitsu headquarters having my black belt presented to me. Yes. So I've done it in 2.5 years like I wanted to. I'd had a 10-week absence for a major operation. I had a 4.5 centimetre tear in the, I can't remember what it's called, the muscle that fastens the ligaments to the hip bone, which they put a mesh in. So that was that. So yeah, and that was my first experience. Yeah, I played rugby, and rugby was, everything was not done for me, but laid out. We had a plan. We had plans from coaches and whatnot. As the game went on, unfolded, you just put your own personality on that. But this was the first time I'd actually done something that I decided I was doing personally, and nothing whatsoever was going to get in my way. So 2.5 years later, it was actually 2 years, 8 months, I had my black belt at Jiu-Jitsu. Whew, could relax. Funnily enough, 12 months later, that girl who I'd phoned up who'd we'd gone out walking with and helped me get through the all the trauma of it. I'm now married to her. That was Rachel. That's how we met. So that's the other legacy. So 2 good endings to that story. So we settled down. She brought 2 kids with her. We had one of our own. Everything was great, but Shannon had a few problems. So I stopped training because it wasn't fair on Rach to be looking after her all the time. I eventually got back into training about 14 years later. When, funny enough, I stumbled on a club, so I became a club owner. Everything was going great. Everything was brilliant in life. You know, Shannon was growing, the kids were growing, everything was fantastic. Business was good, club was good, everything. And then February 2016, we'd been to a party. We'd been to a 60th birthday party to a friend of ours. Shannon, our youngest daughter, 14, 15 at the time, had stayed at home. Had some girlfriends round. Scary movie, pizza night. Why? Why? Why did girls watch scary movies? Come on. The scary movie comes on. I put the cartoons on. Take that off.
Yeah.
I'm not watching scary movies. No, man. Hey, I'm 6 foot 117 stone, and you know I'm a big tough rugby player, jiu-jitsu black belt. I ain't watching no scary movies. Not for anything. You know. So anyway, we come home, and we came around the top of the hill, looking down, and I said, "What are all those people doing on the driveway, Reg?" I don't know. So I got out the driveway, and there must have been about 25, 30 people, kids, between 16 and 22, 24, milling about on the driveway, round the car. I got out of the taxi and politely inquired, "Excuse me, chaps, what's going on here?" Yeah, right. And they all sort of like started turning around and started snarling at me. And then I did something, and this is one thing that you just see later when I tell you, expand a bit. I did something that I shouldn't have done. Something that I teach my students never to do. What I teach my students to do is when you're in a situation like that, back off, assess, then do an action. But I didn't. I just walked right into the middle of them. Big mistake. As I just stepped onto the drive. It was just a big orange flash, and I remember I just found myself on the floor, the driveway, and I thought, how have I got here? My first thought was that I tripped up. How have I got down here? So my head was spinning a bit. My head, and there was, I could feel something running down the front of my head. I put my hand on my head, and it was just covered in blood. So I stood up, and I turned around to this guy who had just walked past to find out what had happened. Everything went orange again, and I'm back on the floor. So I'm not the biggest, quickest thinker in the world, but the hamster woke up a bit and started computing a bit. Something's hit me. So I stood up, and I turned around to face the second guy, just as he was swinging a bottle towards my head again for the third time. Everything kicked in then. Instincts kicked in, rugby kicked in, jiu-jitsu training kicked in. I managed to get my hand up and block the bottle, because I think if that wouldn't have hit me, that would have killed me. I'd already been hit twice. Been hit front and back here, both corners of my head. And the first one had come across my head. It split my head open there, came across my nose because he'd done it from behind, smashed my nose to bits. The second one was right on the back corner here. So I grabbed his hand, and then I did something that's haunted me ever since for a while. And I hit him. Self-defense, instinct, call it what you like. But I hit him so hard. I have never hit anybody as hard in my life before. And I just felt his entire face, his nose and his face just crumbling under my hand. Then it was free for all. Turned out big brawl broke out. Everyone bailed in, and we had a big fire. They ran off, and I chased after them and anything like that. I went to the hospital, got fixed up, got patched up, came home, recovered, started recovery. About 2 or 3 month physical recoveries, and I was in a bit of a bad way. I had lots of bruises and little cuts and things like that. But my head was the worst one, because as the physical injuries came down from here, the mental injuries started going up and up and up and up. The problem was, I've never regarded myself as an alpha male, but I played the tough guy. I played rugby league, jiu-jitsu, black belt. I could always look after myself. I could always, if I needed to, look after myself. I'm a really nice guy, I'm the first guy who'll open a door for a old lady, or let people out to side streets when I'm driving and things like that. But this just took everything of me. Everything that was my being, they took away that night. And so I sank down into it. Over the next 6 years, I sank down into a deep, 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 dark depression. PTSD. I had flashbacks about the night. I had flashbacks about how I reacted. I'd have nightmares about hitting this guy. Strangely enough, not being hit. I had nightmares about hitting this guy, the way I hit him. And it just plagued me, and I just went into severe PTSD. I went into depression. I didn't do anything. My business crumbled. My lifestyle was crumbling. My wife was on the edge. Everything. But all I was going through this, I didn't let people know. I went through all this on my own. I just kept it all to myself. I'm an alpha male, I'm not going to tell people, oh, I'm scared and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. No, because blokes don't do that. We don't do that as blokes, do we? We don't talk to people, do we? So that played out, and I sort of started coming out of it around about 2020. Started 2021. I started feeling a little bit better, and I looked at what I've done and I thought, oh God, we're in a mess here. So I thought, I'm 60 now. I'll just draw down on my pension. I'll pay the house off. Settle all the bills, and then we can worry about the future as it comes. Contacted the pension company, only to find out they'd done one with the pension fund. They'd run into 6 figures, and they'd wandered off with it. So I started legal action against them, and we started legal action against, and it was dragging on and on. Meanwhile, I've now gone back again. I've stepped back. I've fallen back into the depression world. I've become a victim again? Why is my life so bad? What do I have to do? Blah, 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 blah. You get the gist. 2023 was a bad year. My life was just consumed with thoughts of just ending it, just checking out of the hotel of life. That was all I got through 2023. I was so depressed, and on 3-4 occasions I actually almost came very, very close. There's one occasion where I went to the jiu-jitsu. I was in the jiu-jitsu club in the dojo on my own, and I was stood on a table with a rope around the beam and around my neck. And I don't know how I got there. I don't today know how I got there. That's how close I come. There was another time I went to B&Q and bought some um, gaffer tape and some pipe, and I was just going to go to a nice country lane which is nearby on the moors, and just put it up the exhaust pipe and just got sleep in the car. Luckily, you could probably gather that I didn't. Well, I hope I didn't. Otherwise, who are you talking to? Um, anyway, but it was just a constant. It became a constant battle for survival in my own head. All I wanted to do, all my demons, everything, my own mind was saying, "You're a failure. You're a failure. You can't do anything. You're a fraud. You're an imposter. The best thing you can do for the human race is to take yourself out of the gene pool, become a Darwin." And that's all I was going through my mind constantly, constantly. The facade at the front was I was smiling at people. I was trying to appear outwardly calm, and I never mentioned this to anybody. Then in January this year, I went to the doctors for something else, unrelated event. There was my wife, there was a female doctor, and there was a female trainee doctor in there. And I walked into the doctor's surgery. How you doing? I'm all right. How are you? I'm all right. And that was it. Breakdown. Total breakdown. Total breakdown. I was sat on the floor crying like a baby in front of three women. And that's good for your ego, that. Yeah. Hey, look at this big tough guy.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, that had to happen. That process, that one process had to happen. But I had to get everything out. People had to know what was going on. Once people knew what was going on, they could help me.
Mm.
Nobody could help me until that stage because I kept it all to myself. Well, that was it. I just collapsed. It was just flapped in heat. I came home totally embarrassed, ashamed, guilty. All the negative emotions were coming out. And I went and locked myself in the room for a while, fought with demons for a while, came down to H, and I just looked her in the eye and said, "Look, babe, I am not living my life like this anymore. It changes today. It ends." And she said, "Go for it. Let's do this." So that way, boom, switch had gone. Yeah, I was still in a bad way. I still had a lot of things to deal with. I still had certainly the financial issues to deal with. Out of the mess, I had to clean the mess up that I've made, but not just financially, but emotionally and family wise. And so I started. And the reason they're saying it from TEC Chong is it that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. And so I just started. I'd worked on the internet before. I worked online before, and I knew that online was the place to be. I knew that the online world, despite what people think, yes, there are a lot of traps and holes in it that you can fall down. But the online world is an amazing place, and the online world will be responsible for making the future millionaires without a doubt in my mind, and not just a few of them. It will be responsible for creating such wealth. I think it's currently what is it 6 billion at the moment, set to rise to 8 billion by the end of 2025. 8 trillion, sorry, $8 trillion by the end of 2025. There's a whole new
Mm.
expansion, and you know that. And people say, "Oh, I don't want to work online. It doesn't work. Online work. You can't buy what you went online for." Well, hang on. Do you ever order anything from Amazon? Have you ever bought anything off eBay? That's online work. That's an online business. Have you ever had your food delivered by the kangaroo food delivery companies? You phone somebody up and another company brings it. That's online work. That's an online business. Everything we're starting doing now is going more and more online. So I tried this in the past several times and I failed and failed and failed. But I failed. I'd just done the wrong things. So my teacher appeared, and I tried my best to push him away. No, you don't want to get involved with me. Don't get involved. Don't come into my head. You come into my head, you'll end up in one of them courts where you can hug yourself all the time. Just don't come into my head. He said, "Oh, we'll deal with that when it happens." Anyway, what an amazing person. He has helped me so much. One of the things he told me is that you don't have a money problem. You don't have a working online problem. You have a skills problem. You don't have the skills to navigate online, to work online.
Mm.
All right. So I'm stupid, am I? No, you're not. You just haven't got the skills, Mark. Come on, think about it. You go online, do you know what you're doing? No. That's because you haven't got the skills. I'm not the brightest person at times. Penny dropped. Okay, oh yeah. So I've been working with him and we've been developing these skills and developing these skills. And initially, I wanted to go into affiliate marketing. I wanted to learn to do affiliate marketing because, it's a massive, massive online. There's great opportunity there. And I saw it as the opportunity to put things right, the opportunity to make my pension back, make another income, to make another life. But after working with it, he said, forget the affiliate marketing, Mark. Yeah, you've got the skills. Yeah, you can make a lot of money at that. You're better off as a mentor. With your mindset and your story, you need to become a mentor. I said, I have no idea how to do that. None whatsoever. Me teach people, me help people, teach people. He said, we'll work on it. So that's what I've been doing for the last 5, 6 months is learning how to be a mentor, learning how to build courses online, learning how to do stuff like how to build a funnel. I never know how to build a funnel. I know what a funnel. Well, a funnel was something that you put liquid from
Yeah.
into a liquid. Well, that was a funnel. You know, what am I them for? The Tin Man off Wizard of Oz had one on his head. So learning how to that, I didn't even know how to talk to people. I, I would never. So you look at all my early posts on Facebook, the early ones around about January time. They're all pictures. They're all images, stock images of kittens or cats or people pushing blocks up hills. There's none of me because I didn't see myself as worthy enough to go on to the internet and put my face on the internet and say, "You can do this, guys. You can do that, guys." Because I saw myself as a failure, 100% failure. God, I tried to kill myself 4 times. Who's going to listen to me? That's how I saw myself. Now I'm doing podcasts. I've got 2 YouTube channels, which I didn't even know to do YouTube at the time. And my YouTube channels aren't brilliant yet, but they will be because whenever you start something new, you're never brilliant at it. Well, as kids, when we first start to walk, how many times do we fall over? Because we're not good at it. But the more you practice and the more you develop and the more skills you learn and you bring these skills in and you increase more knowledge and you're pulling bits in and you're putting it all together and assimilating it, that is when you start learning. That is when you start growing. That is when you start being the person you should be in the first place. You were always going to be. Well, I've got new products launched. I've got some new products launching, and we've got, in fact, I've got an implementation meeting this afternoon with my mentor. So yeah, it's brilliant. It's all about mindset.
Yeah.
It's all about mindset. Once your mindset is set, and all I have to do, the reason why I told you about the jiu-jitsu story is that is exactly what it did. It was mindset. I decided I was going to get my black belt in 2.5 years, which nobody ever done. It is still a record in the WJJF. Not because I wanted to beat a record, but because I wanted to do it for me, for my goal, for my time scales.
Yeah.
Now I used to go to work because I was a field engineer working for Hewlett Packard at the time. I'd go to work. I'd carry a spare gi training suit in my car all the time. I'd come home from work and I might have done 300-400 miles and 3 or 4 calls. I'd be absolutely knackered and not wanting to train. And I think, oh, just give tonight a miss. I can pick up tomorrow. So I'll not go training tonight. And I'd give myself a million and one excuses for not training. But it always came back down to one thing. If I don't train tonight, I won't hit my goal. So I go training and I'm here to train. As soon as I'd be like, whoa, bang, bang, we'd be up again. As soon as you get on the mat, as soon as you start training, you just have to push that procrastination away. That procrastination will come at you from every side. It's a horrible thing. It has loads. It has many, many weapons. There's loads of weapons in its arsenal. And whatever you try to do, it will give you a million and one excuses for not doing something. But if you don't do that something when you're supposed to do it, you will not do it the day after. If you put it off, it won't get done because something else will get in the way the day after. else in the way the day after that. And that's what I found just from that little episode, 2.5 years of the training from the black belt. That's more or less where I'm at the moment. Now, we've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm currently building the Facebook page, a new Facebook page directly aimed at what I'm trying to achieve. See, my plan is that my overall vision is that I want to be in a situation where I can help people in a similar situation to I was.
Yeah.
Get over these mental health issues. I can't help anyone with mental health issues because I'm not trained. I don't. If I go inside someone's mind, I don't know what they're looking for. But I know that I know that anybody can get out of the situation, no matter how low you're feeling. Taking your own life is not the answer. It's not the answer because you might get some relief for yourself. Think of the knock-on effect it's going to have for your family and friends. They'd be devastated for the rest of their lives. So it's not the answer. The answer is find the root cause for it, hit the problem, and find something different to do. Now, what I want to do, my overall vision, is I want to create a scholarship like a Jiujitsu university for people who are struggling, for women who are in violent relationships, domestic relationships, domestic violence, for people who, for young lads, young blokes who are fed up with life. Life's not going their way. Things aren't happening for them, and they're just disillusioned and they want a way out. But I want to give them a 12-month scholarship for training at my club, where I'll train them to orange belt in jiu-jitsu, and that'll give them focus, it'll give them discipline, it'll give them fitness, it'll do everything for them, a lot for them. It'll also create positive thoughts in the mind and get them away from that I want to commit suicide sort of thing. That's what my ultimate goal is. That's what my vision is now. But unfortunately, I can't get any funding, so I'm going to have to fund it myself. So now I need to, my first priority is I need to sort my financial situation out that I created. And then B, once I've done that, I can then start looking to build this Jiu-Jitsu university that I've got in my head and start helping people. I have to sort it. It's like the old adage in the aeroplane, isn't it? If the oxygen mask drop, put your own on before you do your child's. Because if you put your child's on, if you don't, you've got to make sure you're right before you can have somebody else. I am currently creating a Facebook page based on that. Now, the people I'm looking for is that people around about my age, mid-50s to 60s, who are approaching retirement, who are feeling burnt out, they've got the corporate burnout, they're fed up of work. Some young have just been promoted before them. They've been there for years and years. He's been there and they're not happy. They know there's something else. They're worried about how they're going to fare in retirement. How are you going to get on after retirement? What happens? What am I going to do when I retire? What about my skills? What about all my skill set? Have I got enough money to get me through retirement? What happens if somebody runs off with my pension? That happens, I think. I know. So these people, it's keeping them awake. Things like, I hate my job. I hate getting up on a Monday morning now. I've done it for 40 years. I've done enough. And what happens if I've got 5 years? So what happens if I get made redundant? I'm not going to get another job. Take all that out of the equation. Take all that being controlled and your life being run by somebody else out of the equation. Let's talk. Let's just see what we can do. As I said before, working online is an amazing place. You just need to know how to do it. Forget the stigma of it. Forget about, there are nasty people out there that will take your money and run off with it. We've both been online for a while. These people who do that, they're still quite difficult to spot, but you do get an inkling, don't you, an insight into doing it. But they are so clever. They're not just like, give us your money and we'll run off with it type of thing. It's so clever and so subtle what they do. They are good at it. They are professionals at it. But you learn to spot them. But the fact is, if you go to a foot, don't not do this for you because of them, because you've heard that they exist. Yeah, you go to a football game, there's some nasty people at football games. They're only going there to fight. It doesn't
Mm,
stop you. It doesn't stop you going to the football game, though, does it? You know how to spot them and stay away from them, but you still enjoy the match. Now, if you're staying away because of them, what's the point? Don't do that. What I teach are basic principles. I teach people. I don't teach people how to build a business online. Not directly. I teach them how to start. I teach them the fundamentals of what they need to get started. They already have the life skills. They've spent 40 years honing their skills, whatever they are. 40 years in industry, and they've got skills that are going to be lost to society. So learn how to build a business online. Learn how to build. Three fundamentals. Your why. Why do you do it? Why do you want to do this? So important. And not just, yeah, I want to earn some extra money or I want to supplement my income. No, I mean that deep, 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 deep down why. That why that is buried so deep in your core. But when it comes out, it's like a revelation. It's like a light coming on. Seriously, it's such an emotional journey. It's a fantastic journey. You've probably done it.
yeah.
I know I have. And I actually got three-quarters of the way through that journey, and I just said to the guy, "Whoa, stop!" But
Mm.
I didn't want to go further. It was too emotional, especially with everything I'd gone through. I did it with my wife, and she nearly punched me.
Huh.
Second one is mindset. Getting your mindset right. Get your mindset right. Once you get your mindset right, everything falls into place. It's all about overcoming limiting beliefs. There was a limiting belief about that a human could not run a mile under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Until Bannister did it when he did it in 3 minutes 58 seconds and then fell to the floor. It was always believed that if the human tried to do that, the lungs would burst, the heart would burst, and it'd be a right mess. But he didn't. The following year, 8 other people did it. Why? Because that limiting belief has been removed. Now, if you go into the Olympics, you're not even considered unless you can run a mile in under 2 and 3.5 now. You know, it's all about limiting beliefs. So I help people to overcome these limiting beliefs, help them to overcome the stigma of working online. And the third one is probably the most powerful one is how to formulate your story, how to pull your story together, just like one I've just discussed, how to pull that together into a tangible product, into a product you can use to say to people, look, I've been through this. This is what's happened in my life. If you're going through this, I've been through it as well. Let's talk. I can help you through it. We can get through it. Because my struggles are not unique. They are unique to me, but the basics of them are not unique. There's thousands, if not millions of people going through the same thing. The things you've been through are unique to you, but the core principles of it, other people are going through. You know how to negotiate and navigate them. Like I know how to negotiate. I know how to come up right from the depth of despair. An actual fact, I actually love life now. Despite I got loads of financial problems, despite all that, I actually love life now. Life is fantastic. I was at the club last night. We were quite squared about 12 students. I actually loved being there. I actually enjoyed the session, the training and everything. So that's just the basics. That's just unit one. I've got lots of other stuff coming online to move people further and further on. But the basics is I'll show you how to build a business. You find your skill and what you're good at and what you can promote. That's basically where I'm at.
Amazing. Yeah,
Thank you.
your story just blows my mind, and yeah, it's something that I want to highlight. I think the moment of when you said you walked into the doctor's office and there were like these three women doctors, and you're just like, yeah,
No,
yeah, good, good, and then you broke down, right? When you were
yeah,
going through the depression after the attack that you've been through, right? And so I think that's a very important point that you share specifically as well. Like you highlighted it as well. Like, well, yeah, there's this like big guy, jiu-jitsu black belt and whatnot, and sitting on the floor crying. Um, I think a lot of people have this misconception, especially like in the men's world, I guess, masculinity, right? You have to be always strong, and it's just so wrong. It's just so wrong.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. There is that. Um, I kept everything in. Now, if if you do that, what I understand about PTSD now, because I'm actually still in therapy on it. I'm having
Yeah.
therapy once a week. So for that, but how I understand it works now. What was wrong in my head is that this incident had happened. You liken it to a factory. You get a factory. The goods come in at this end. They get processed. Bump, 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 bump. They come out at this end as something entirely different. There's a process they go through, and then they come out the other end. With PTSD, the goods come in here and they move and they move and they move. But at this point, the conveyor belt, the processing plant has broken down, so it gets stuck there.
Mm.
Stuck. So if you imagine in your mind, you get something that happens, you process it, you process it, you process it, you deal with it, then you file it away into your memory. But that's not what happened. Mine is still the incident was still stuck right in the middle of my head. It was blocking everything else up. I couldn't move past that point, so I had to stop bringing stuff in here because the stuff wasn't going through. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. But instead of saying to somebody, look, I've got a logjam in my head. I've got a logjam in my head and I need to get it out. I just carried on trying to process it. But that logjam just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger
Mm.
and bigger until eventually something had to give. Something had to give, very similar to blowing a balloon up. You blow a balloon up, it gets to the optimum size, it's brilliant. Yeah, you can play with it, whatever. But you carry on putting stuff in there without taking anything out, it's going to pop.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens. Now, all I can say to any bloke, and women as well, but mainly blokes, because blokes are like, yeah, I'm all right, I can deal with things, mate, I'm all right. No, you can't. You can't. If you're in this situation, you have to take a back seat. You have to swallow your male ego. You have to say, yeah, I'm a tough guy, yeah, I'm all right. But I can't deal with this. I cannot deal with this. So like, if you're a plasterer, for example, can you deal with a best pipe? Or do you get a plumber in to do it? If you're a plasterer, can you deal with a electric short in your house, or do you get an electrician in to do it? This is the thing. You got this block in your mind. You cannot deal
Mm.
with it yourself. You don't know how to. You don't know how to. You have to get somebody in to deal with it. So you have to talk. You have to say to somebody. You have to go to a friend. Talk to anybody. Your doctors, your wife, your husband, whoever you are. I don't care. Your dog. Not so much your dog. They tend not to answer back. Somebody in the street just said to them, "Look, can I stop? Can we go for a coffee? I need to talk to you. I need to talk to somebody." That's all it is. It's being big and brave. If you think you're a big tough guy, yeah, fine. Well, if you've got a problem with your mind, if you're a big tough guy, show how tough you are and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
That's the tough bit. That's the tough bit. Is talking to somebody. You're not talking to somebody because you're a coward. I was. I didn't talk to anybody
Mm.
because I was a coward. I didn't want people to see me in a different light. That's what I thought. I thought I don't want people to see me that I'm weak. That I'm a weak. I didn't want my mates, my old rugby mates, to know that I'm weak. But I tell you what, any one of my rugby mates would have sooner have sat down with me and listened to me babble on without judging for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, rather than come to my funeral because I took my own life.
Yeah.
That's what they'd have sooner done. They'd have sooner sat down, had a couple of beers, a coffee, or whatever I wanted, listen to me, yap, 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 rather than be carrying me coffin down the aisle.
Yeah. I
I
think
think,
that really puts it into perspective.
yeah,
I was gonna ask, like, what do you think stops people from talking, right? And I think
male ego,
you know,
male
mm,
ego, male ego, 100%. We're viewed as the breadwinners. We're viewed as the head. And if any of you ladies watching, please forgive me and don't be offended by this. But we're still view ourselves as the breadwinners. We still see ourselves as the head of the household. We're the ones that everything revolves around. We're the we run the place. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
provider.
Yeah, we're the providers. Yeah, and that's what we see ourselves of. We're the ones who people come to with their problems. We take their problems on board. Yeah, okay, we can deal with this. Blah blah blah. We can't then reverse the role and say to people, look, I'm struggling here.
Yeah.
I really am. Remember that incident that happened where I was involved in? Oh yeah, I remember that car crash or whatever. Or, yeah, I remember that. Or that car crash that I weren't involved in, but that car crash I attended, and there was all the yeah. I'm struggling with it. I'm really struggling. I'm struggling dealing with it. I can't. I'm having nightmares. I can't sleep at night, and I can't do this, and I don't know what to do. Admitting you don't know what to do as a bloke, it's like I don't know what it's like. It's just you just can't do it. I don't know what to do. What should I do? Asking people, what should I do? How many blokes ask for help? How many times have you been lost when you're driving? And oh, I'll find it. Why don't we just ask that person? No, she don't know. That was a funny time. I mean, I was looking for somewhere one just jumping off piste here. I was looking for somewhere one time. I was miles and miles and miles. I'm about 300 miles, 200 miles away from home, and I was looking for this particular address. And I stopped and asked this bloke, and I said, "Excuse me, buddy, do you know where such a place is?" He said, "Yeah, but if I were going there, I wouldn't go from here." What? What? What do you mean you want to go? I am here. So what should I do? Go somewhere else before I go there? It's bizarre. If I was going there, I would go from here. All right. Well, I won't go then.
What?
I would just like a fish. I was like that. Anyway, but we don't ask for help. We don't ask for help because it is. I think it's mainly ego, sign of weakness. I don't know. It's what we've been taught. Luckily now, I think as we move into the 21st century, and well, we're actually nearly a quarter of the way through the 21st century.
Flies.
Um,
Time flies, huh?
yeah, as we moved into the 21st century now, obviously things are changing. People's outlooks are changing. People's beliefs, limiting beliefs, whatever you want to call them, people's ideals are changing. And I've always said, I mean, I always believe that men and women are very, very similar. We're totally different. We're very, very similar, but we do have a symbiotic relationship.
Mm,
Women need blokes and blokes need women as much as each other. We all bring different things to the party. They bring certain skills, we bring certain skills, and that's the amalgamation. When you put them together, that's when you get harmony to a certain extent.
yeah.
That's from when your wife shouts at you. But blokes just need to start turning around and saying to the wives, "Look, babe, I need to talk
Yeah.
to you. I need to go to the doctors. I need to do this. I need to do that. Forget about your male ego. Nobody's going to think anything less of you. I wouldn't think anything less of one of my mates coming up to me and saying, Mark, can we have a coffee? And I'd probably say something like, I'm sorry, you pronounced beer wrong. But, but that's something along them lines is that talk to somebody. Please,
Mm,
please, please talk to somebody. There's always a way out. There's always a solution. It's just a matter if you poke a problem big long enough, you will find the solution. There's always a solution within the problem if you poke it long enough.
yeah. Yeah. It's it's so sad that people feel like they can't talk or they don't want to talk. And then I love how you put it into perspective of if anybody would, any of your friends or any of your buddies which would much rather listen to you babble or even see you cry than carry your coffin, right? And
Yeah,
that makes it real. That
that
makes it
puts
real because it
yeah,
definitely puts it into perspective. Nice. Yeah, I think it's a very important conversation to have and put out there. So I'm glad and happy that you're going out there and sharing your story, um, especially from your position, right? And so about the online business that you're doing now and online mentoring, how you said in the beginning, like, oh, like when your coach or your mentor said, oh, I think you should do mentoring, you're like, me, like, okay. So would you say that you had like some imposter syndrome and you like struggled with that, and how did you get over it? Like over the edge of, I kind of want to do this, but I don't know. Like, should I? So what was that a process, or was that just like a commitment, or how did you get yourself started?
I think it was a combination of a few things. Yeah, I did have imposter syndrome. Yes, um, I did. I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't think my opinion of myself was that how can I help people when I can't even help myself? That was the question that went through my head all the time. And Matt hit the nail right on the head when he first started saying you don't have a work problem, you have a skills problem.
Mm,
So as we worked and I attended his seminars, I attended his courses, I attended his one-on-ones. As we did that, my belief, my knowledge started to grow at first. So I was given the knowledge, then I assimilated the knowledge into skills, I developed skills from the knowledge. And as that started to grow, and as I started to think and watch things and um, watch other programs, watch other seminars, webinars, attend even being on a webinar helped because the first one I did was terrible, poor girl. But as your skills develop, your attitude starts changing, and then you start having this very slow initially mindset change. You start thinking, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, I can do that.
mm,
Yeah, I believe in this. Yeah, I do believe in that. And all of a sudden, you start thinking, no, I'm not an imposter. I have a lot of skills, and I've developed a lot of skills. I've developed a lot of knowledge, and we had something recently which was quite amazing, which brought it all into perspective. My wife's father has been in hospital. He's been quite ill in hospital, but it was basically a mobility problem that they needed to resolve. So he was in hospital and he was a right cantankerous old bugger, you know. So me and Rach had a discussion about it one night, and the funny thing is, I dropped right into um, a mode that I'd done with Matt, which was okay. Let's identify the problem. What is the problem there? What is the problem? He needs to get his mobility going. He needs to get the swelling on his legs down, which the hospital were working on. He needs to get his mobility going, and he wants to get home. So the problem is, place of pain is, he's in hospital and don't want to be there. Place of pleasure is, I want to be at home. So in the middle, we've got to get him walking. We've got to get him walking that 200 yards in the hospital that he has to do every day. And that's what we need to achieve. So straight away, then we found the problem. We went over another solution. We found the desired effect, and now we just had to do the solution. So our mission then became every time we went in was to edify him and praise him every time he made some steps, every time he made progress. Said, yeah, but all the time, not focusing on what he had to do, but focusing on what he wanted. So we changed emphasis on being in hospital, having to do this, to being at home. So literally every time we said, "What have you done today?" I've done. Well, I walked for 10 meters. Right, tomorrow you're walking for 15. Well done on that. Let's set a goal tomorrow. We'll do 15. Day after we'll do 20. Right, then we'll do 25. And that's what it became. That's how it became. But I wouldn't have known how to do that if I hadn't spoken, if I hadn't have developed as I am as a person with the training and and maths and one thing and another. So yeah, how did I change? Through a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment,
yep.
and a lot of failure.
Yeah.
So hard work, commitment, and failure. Hard work, commitment, and failure. Hard work, commitment, and failure. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat. Oh, throw
Yeah.
a bit of knowledge in there. Throw a lot of knowledge in there. Because failure, is it? Failure is a lesson. All you do when you fail at something, you're just learning how not to do something. So it's a lesson. A lot
Yeah.
of people just think, oh God, I tried that, it didn't work. So try something different.
Yeah, I would say just immerse yourself into the world, right? Just
Yeah,
dive right in, and know that it's just gonna be uncomfortable in the beginning. Know that it's not gonna be super enjoyable right away, and
no,
you will go through it. But as you go through it, I like how you said that first, no, you learn some knowledge, and then the knowledge turns into skills. And I would add, I'm not sure if you mentioned something like that, but I would say that the skills turn into experience. And something that
Yeah.
I've been definitely experiencing or like finding out recently is I've been in this online space, in this online business for 4 years now, and
Okay.
it's really starting to show just the time, right? And I remember that nobody really told me this back when I was getting started. Like nobody, everybody was saying like, learn to do this with no experience, make money fast here, do this here, or easy online business and whatever. And it was all focused on no experience and no skill, no prior skills, no prior experience. And now I'm thinking it's like it should be like the other way around. It should be like get the experience, right? Like, and that's why you're doing it. So you get the experience, and then you actually know what's happening, rather than thinking you know what's happening or what's going on, how it works, just because you heard something.
Yeah.
And it really, really, really starts to show. So, and I've heard, maybe you've heard a couple times as well, but I've heard this from my mentor many times, is that the number one rule of growing a business is to stay in business. And I see
Yeah.
so many people get started and then quit or move on to something else and switch way too early, and they never give themselves the chance to get the experience and to really build the skills and get the experience that they need to actually do really well in whatever business you choose, right? So immerse yourself in it, just dive in, start gaining experience, right? And just stick with it for a long time. So then you gain all the skills, the knowledge, and the experience, and it will start to show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. There's a couple of things there, and you're perfectly true what you say. I mean, and a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I really stand against done for you programs. I'm not a
Mm.
done for you. I've done the done for you programs, and they are only short term. They're a short term fix. What was exactly you said? Come in here, put some money in here, and then go out in this process and have no money here. Sorry, but
It's true. No, it's true.
yeah,
No, that's how it is. Put some money here,
yeah,
go through this process, and have still no money at the end. But that's not
and
what they promised, is it?
no, no. But so I stand against done for you programs. I mean, that's a personal thing.
Mm.
And I've done them. Don't get me wrong. I've tried them, and I've had the same results with them every time. Now, with what Matt's teaching me, my mentor Matt is teaching me exactly what we're saying. Is that once you gain the knowledge, develop the skills, and as you say, which is 100% true, get the experience. Nobody can take that away from you
Hmm.
because the same principles are true now than they were 10, 20, 30 years ago when the internet first started and things like that. If you follow the same principles, the same guidelines, do knowledge, skills, experience, and do all the work in between and never quit, sooner or later you're going to make it. Now, you say you've been in for 4 years, and you said it's been a long, 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 long time. You're right. I'll tell you what. I've been working since I was 14. That's nearly 40 years. And 40 years now from when I started here at 14 to where I am here now at almost 64, 64 in March, I'm no better off. I'm deeply in
Mm.
debt. Yeah, I had a hiccup in between. I'm deeply in debt. So that program that I've done for a lifetime hasn't worked. Now, if I can get to the stage in 4 years' time where I'm earning a decent income from the internet, I've done 40 years work in 4 years. So have I really worked for a long, long time? No, I've
Yeah.
done it in 4 years. I've done a lifetime work in 4 years.
Yeah.
And I know that it won't be 4 years. It'll be a lot shorter than that when when the income starts coming in.
Yeah.
It's a matter of mindset, believe in yourself. I mean, Matt had more faith in me when we first started than what I had in myself. I lived off his faith. All he kept saying is, "We can do this, buddy. Hey, we're doing great. Look what you've done now. Look how far you've come. Look at where you were in January. Look at where you are now. Look at what you're doing. Look at the progression you're making. Look at how you can talk on podcasts. Look at, and it's never going to work for me. Always me, because I still always me. But now it's like, yeah, I know it's going to work. I know it's going to. I know that I believe that I've done everything right. And yeah, I'll tell you now, I'm not earning millions and millions from this business at the moment. I'm not. I'm not earning a lot from it. But what I've done, I've put all my processes in place.
Yeah.
I've built the processes. There's no point going into somebody just going straight into say, yeah, come and join me and I can teach you how to do this. What right, where do I sign up? Um, just send me the money to my bank account. No, I put the process, I put the funnels in place. I'm putting the email the email generation in place. I'm putting this in place. I'm putting that in place. Everything's in place. Everything is now in place. And we're ready to go. Boom. Everything is ready. And that has taken months to develop because that don't take in actual fact that doesn't take long to develop that. That don't take long to do that. What took the time is this.
Mm.
Getting the inside of this skull, getting that right. That's taken the 9 months. Getting the knowledge that was in there replaced by the good stuff that it needed to be. The knowledge that was in there was deep, dark, and depressing. To the yeah, come on, we can do this. Let's go. Come on, we're okay. We know we're done. That's what it's at. That's the hard work. Yeah, but I'm not. Never quit. Never quit. As long as you take one step forward every single day. Every single one small step forward every single day. You're going to get your goals. It's like, for example, if you wanted to learn a foreign language, say you wanted to learn a foreign, say you wanted to learn, I don't know, German, right? Can you speak German?
Nope.
You set yourself a goal that for 30 minutes every day, you were going to learn German. You were going to start with the numbers, right? So 30 minutes every day. You're going to start with the numbers. Then you're going to start with just learning the words for different things. Everyday words, like fruit, and then car, and all that. And you did that every single day for 12 months, 365 days. How far down the line would you be 365 days later?
Mm.
But you've only done 30 minutes work every day.
Yeah. Very far.
365 days later, I presume you'd be sort of like perhaps not fluent, but certainly competent at speaking the language.
Yeah.
Just off half hour a day. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Is to
Absolutely. All right.
what
This was
I
a
learned as well during
yeah.
sorry.
So now this was a great conversation. I'm gonna have to wrap it up because we're just at the top of the hour. It was awesome. Finally, we made it
Okay.
happen. I think everything went great. Everything went great this time. Do you have any? Okay. Also, send me your YouTube channel. You mentioned you have a couple YouTube channels, so send me your YouTube channel afterwards so I can tag it in the notes
Yeah.
and or in the
I'll follow the
description.
address.
And yeah, do you have any closing remarks or something to
Yeah.
leave people with?
Firstly, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you again, Ondra. I'm glad we got it done this time. But that's challenges, isn't it? We didn't quit. We didn't quit on
Yes.
each other. We had a challenge the first time. We had a challenge the second time. The second time my internet blew up. The third time we had another problem. But we didn't quit, which just goes to prove that if you keep trying, sooner or later you get it right. But it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and to all your listeners, and I hope they've enjoyed the podcast, and I hope they'll join me on some things I'm doing. But to all you blokes out there, not just necessary blokes, all you males and even you females that are in bad relationships, with suffering from domestic violence, people, you can change. Get yourself out of that situation. Talk to somebody. Just talk to somebody. Blokes, talk to somebody. Go out with your mates, have a beer, have a coffee, whatever you want to do. Go to the football game, go to a football match, a soccer match, and just talk to them. Tell them you're struggling. You ladies, if you're in domestic violence, it ain't going to get better. My wife came out of a bad relationship. Right when I met her, she was in a bad relationship. She's in a good relationship now. I gotta say that. Talk to somebody. change. It's never too late to change. If you're struggling at work and you're fed up with the corporate environment, corporate world, you're fed up to get up every Monday morning to go to work, or even Sunday morning, change. It's never too late. I was 60, just short of 63 when I set down this path. And I love every single day. I love everything I do. I love learning the knowledge. I love putting it into perspective. I love hitting roadblocks, and I love finding solutions. It's that all from the comfort of my own dining room.
Mm.
As you can see, this is my dining room. Pictures of my daughters on the wall.
Okay.
Jiujitsu, which I still need to get up and put in the club. All from the comfort of my own room. I have a business that's spanning the world from the comfort of my own room, my own home. So it's
Amazing.
never too late to change, guys. It's never too late to change. But if you're feeling depressed, if you're going down that way, stop, take a couple of deep breaths, assess the situation, put your big boy pants on, and talk to somebody, because nobody will laugh at you. Nobody will mock you. Nobody will take the mickey out of you. They will respect you. They will respect you for having the, can I say this word, the balls to go out and do it.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody to say, to admit, which is the hardest bit in the world, to admit that I've got a problem. As Nike would say, just do it.
Just do
Just
it.
talk.
All right.
Yep.
Awesome. And we can end it. We can end it on there. Just
Yep.
do it. All right. So yeah, go, if you want to learn more, if anybody's watching, you want to learn more about Mark, check out his YouTube channel. Amazing story, and you're becoming a better and better speaker as well. As we've tried to do this a couple of times, you've improved in telling your story as well. So
Thank
keep
you.
doing it. Keep showing up on podcasts and shows and making videos and such. And yeah, growing. Keep growing. All right. I'll
And you.
see you
Thank
around.
you.
Thanks for doing
Yeah.
this.